that? Nibiru has lots of moons. If they don't go round and around it, they trail behind it, and into what the data is called moon swirls, which get into kind of a dance with each other, avoidance, subtraction, dance. And the two main moons are on either side, so they look like shoulder pads, like you have a football player running at you. And that's what you can see in these photos. And you can see that in the photos we're taking today because it's become so visible lately that even webcams are capturing it regularly. This is, so in it came and crossed the Earth's orbit and got closer to the sun, so it was lost in the sun's glare. But there are several visibility persona, I want to call it, where people have seen it and seen the complex, but they're not even sure what they're seeing. One is what we call the second sunrise, and this is where on dawn or dusk, they will see a sunrise, and then they'll see another sunrise and say, wait a minute, I saw two suns rise. The first one that rose fades, and the other one, slightly to the left, is the real sun. And likewise with sunset. You'll have, the sun will go down, and there'll be a second sun to the right, and it'll go down, well, two suns. So this is because the sunlight is just at the right angle. It's bouncing off of the vast dust cloud that shrouds Nibiru and allows it to appear. It's reflected sunlight. So what we're seeing lately, because people have been taking photos, if you use the right filters, Mylar or an insert from a floppy disk, you could see this complex. You could see Nibiru and the moons and the vast tail. Why Mylar and the floppy disk insert? Because they screen out light that's in any spectrum but the red light spectrum, because this is shrouded by iron oxide dust, reddish, and therefore if you pick out only the red light from the sky around the sun, then you see it.
Funny, I actually saw somebody sent in some footage to us, Nancy, at Leap Project that showed they did that thing with the floppy disk, pulled out that film, and then did some footage, and you could see what you're talking about. It's probably going to depend on the time of day, and I wonder how fast this thing actually moves. And have you figured out how many moons there are behind it dancing around?
Yeah, the data said a couple of dozen, and I don't think that's an exact count because where does it become debris and when is it a moon? They said a couple of dozen the size of our moon, as just a rough estimate. But it has a huge amount of debris. It used to go through the asteroid belt, which is where the red dust came from. It showed a double helix, kind of a swirl behind it. Why is that? Nibiru has lots of moons. If they don't go round and around it, they trail behind it, and into what the data is called moon swirls, which get into kind of a dance with each other, avoidance, subtraction, dance. And the two main moons are on either side, so they look like shoulder pads, like you have a football player running at you, and that's what you